Okay, imagine this for a second. The internet is watching. Not a movie, not some planned event.
Yeah.
But a murder unfolding in real time.
Live, on camera.
Yeah, witnessed by thousands. It sounds like, I don't know, some dystopian script, right?
But it was chillingly real.
Today we're doing a deep dive into the case of Laquanta Williams. It was a domestic argument that just spiraled into this deadly act during a Facebook live stream. And our mission here, it isn't just to recount what happened.
Right, it goes deeper.
We want to really unpack how this modern-day nightmare unfolded. What were the, digital things that turned a private tragedy into such a public spectacle?
And maybe most importantly, what does it all mean for how we consume information, how we process it?
Yeah, and even how we participate, in this age of just instant, unfiltered sharing. Okay, let's get into it.
What's really unsettling, I think, is how that Go Live feature, it was designed for connection, right? For sharing moments. But here, it created this really strange, almost paradoxical witness effect. Well, it's a stark example of how our digital world isn't just, reflecting human behavior. It can actively shape it. And maybe even, accelerate the most extreme parts of it.
That's a scary thought. And it all started, almost boringly normal, didn't it?
Deceptively normal.
Yeah, our sources describe it as almost painfully mundane at first, a phone propped up somewhere.
Background music playing.
Right, and this couple, Laquanta and her husband, already arguing.
Yeah.
Loud, yeah, but...
But nothing you haven't maybe heard or seen online before at first glance?
Exactly. Friends, strangers.
Yeah.
Reports say thousands tuned in. Maybe just expecting, I don't know, typical online drama.
The kind you scroll past.
Yeah, but looking back now, were there subtle signs, clues that viewers might have missed about how dangerous it was getting?
That's the really tough question.
Or was it just the chilling reality of how violence can just erupt, even when we're all connected?
Well, I think that deceptive normalcy is exactly what made the escalation so terrifying and so hard for people watching to process it in real time. If you think about the psychology, reports suggest a lot of the initial viewers thought maybe it was staged.
For attention. Like reality TV.
Kind of, yeah. It's a common thing online. But then, the minutes pass.
It gets louder.
The voices escalate to shouting. The tension between them, it becomes visceral. You could feel it even through the screen.
Wow.
And here's what's fascinating and frankly deeply disturbing. That instant feedback loop of live streaming.
The comments.
Exactly. The comments rolling in, whether they were encouraging or condemning or just asking questions. They could have maybe inadvertently locked Laquanta into that moment, into the performance.
So it wasn't just passive watching, the audience became part of it.
In a way, yeah. It's like a dynamic shift in the event itself. The very act of being watched could have made stepping back, de-escalating, almost impossible once things got that heated.
That's terrifying. The idea that the audience, without meaning to, fueled it. And then the unthinkable moment. Our sources describe it, and it's just chilling. Laquanta pulls out a gun.
Right there. On camera.
With thousands of people watching, just paralyzed behind their screens, trying to process this horror. And she fired.
Her husband collapsed.
Can you even imagine the shock? The confusion for those viewers.
Staring at their phones, their computers.
Seeing something so undeniably real, but your brain is trying to square it with all the fake stuff online.
It's cognitive dissonance on a massive scale.
It was a nightmare that basically forced them into being witnesses, unwilling witnesses, something nobody could prepare for. So, okay, let's talk about how this went viral, because it wasn't just any crime.
Yeah.
It wasn't hidden away somewhere. This was a murder happening, like you said, right there, in front of thousands of regular people on Facebook.
A mainstream platform.
But it's not just that it was live, right?
Yeah.
It's how it exploded online. That's more than just people hitting share.
Absolutely. You have to understand the role of algorithmic acceleration here.
Okay.
Social media platforms, they're designed to prioritize live content. It gets pushed higher in feeds.
So the system itself boosts it.
Yeah, it's not neutral. It's a built-in mechanism that makes something like this incredibly visible very quickly.
So first you have people watching out of curiosity.
Right. And then the algorithms trying to maximize engagement, push it to more feeds. It creates this cascade effect,
Blurring the line.
totally blurring the line between a private tragedy and a public spectacle. But it does it with, like, terrifying efficiency.
So the digital environment, it doesn't just bring, as you said, instant fame or shame.
Or, in this case, death.
Right. It almost creates this self-fulfilling prophecy of virality. The sheer horror of it triggers its own spread.
Bringing millions into what was, just moments before, a private fight.
And the speed is just mind-boggling. The aftermath unfolded so fast, mostly because of those
The
viewers.
ones watching in horror.
Yeah. They didn't just sit there. They acted. They became like active participants in the justice system.
Calling 911, reporting the stream.
Immediately.
Yeah.
So law enforcement responded quickly.
Yeah.
And when they arrived,
They found her husband dead. Confirmed the worst.
but by that point, that horrifying video,
Yeah.
it was already everywhere online.
Like wildfire. Shared, screen recorded, copied, way beyond Facebook.
So think about that if you're listening. The power and speed. You've got the algorithm boosting it, the raw emotion pulling people in, and then citizen reporting kicking in immediately.
All converging.
Yeah, all converging to turn this private nightmare into a global event. In minutes.
It's a massive shift, isn't it, in how we think about public safety, digital responsibility.
Huge shift.
But let's pause for a second and look behind the screen. Who was Laquanta Williams? What do we know?
Well, sources paint a picture of a pretty troubled relationship with her husband.
Yeah, I read that. Marked by ongoing arguments, domestic issues.
Things that people around them apparently knew about. It wasn't totally out of the blue.
So not an isolated incident, but maybe the tragic endpoint of something that had been building.
It seems that way. Tragically, yes.
Okay, so that background is important.
Crucial, because it raises this really difficult, unsettling question.
Why? Why go live? Exactly. Was hitting that go live button calculated? Was she looking for attention? Or witnesses? Or maybe even like a desperate cry for help that went horribly wrong?
Or was it just impulsive? Spur of the moment, caught up in the heat of it all, and the performance aspect just took over.
It's so complex. The motivation behind broadcasting something so personal, so violent, it's really hard to pin down.
And that's where maybe psychology comes in?
I think it has to. Psychologists who study online behavior, they talk about things like the online disinhibition effect.
What's that?
It's the idea that the feeling of anonymity online, even if you're actually visible, like on a live stream, combined with that instant audience feedback, it can create this toxic mix.
Right.
There's also something called de-individuation, feeling less self-aware, less accountable when you're part of a group, even a virtual one.
So you might do things you wouldn't normally do.
Exactly. It lowers inhibitions, and it can fuel this need to perform or to shock people, especially when emotions are already running incredibly high.
So in Laquanta's case, that dynamic could have actually intensified her actions, pushed her further.
It's certainly possible. That constant stream of comments, reactions, the little likes or hearts, that's like a dopamine hit of engagement. It could have created this feedback loop, making it harder and harder to step back, to de-escalate, even as things got more and more serious.
Wow. It really makes you think about those subtle but powerful psychological pressures when you know you're performing live online.
Yeah.
It just adds this whole other deeply unsettling layer to understanding why people do things, especially in the digital age where that line between reality and performance gets so incredibly blurred.
Terrifyingly blurred.
So Laquanta Williams gets arrested,
Yeah.
charged with murder immediately.
But
But as the sources make clear, that's really just the start of the story, in a way. What lasted and what makes this case so different from crimes in the past, it's that digital trail she left.
The evidence.
Thousands of people didn't just witness a man's last moments. That act is now burned into the internet.
And that permanence, that's the really profound part here. And its consequences are huge, often unforeseen.
How so? Different from, say, a newspaper report.
Totally different. Think about crimes in the past. Stories might get whispered about, maybe fade from memory.
Right.
This wasn't just heard about, it was seen, shared, commented on, people screen recorded it.
So his death became part of internet history.
Indelible.
Irremovable. But that permanence isn't just about evidence for the police, though that's obviously key. There's something else emerging from reports. This idea of digital secondary trauma.
For the viewers.
For the thousands of unwitting witnesses, yeah. Unlike watching a filtered news report, the live, raw nature meant they weren't just informed, they were, in a sense, implicated.
Carrying that visual memory.
Exactly. Specific visual memory that old media rarely imprinted so deeply, so widely. And that creates a whole new societal issue, right? How do we support people who stumble into that kind of horror online?
That's a huge question. And if we zoom out a bit from Laquanta's specific case, it just forces us to confront how the digital world has completely irrevocably blurred that line.
Between private pain
And public spectacle, yeah. What happens inside someone's home can instantly be broadcast globally,
with consequences that just ripple outwards. Forever.
impacting not just the people directly involved, but potentially vast numbers of accidental witnesses. And that throws up massive challenges, doesn't it, to our old ideas about privacy, grief, public memory.
Even the law. How do legal systems even deal with this kind of persistent, painful digital content?
It's an ongoing struggle.
It really does make you reflect. The lasting impact of anything shared online, it never truly goes away, does it?
Nope, it's out there.
And how does that change how we understand crime, privacy, memory, both for the victims and for everyone who saw it? It's heavy thought.
But essential for all of us living in this connected world.
So this deep dive into the Laquanta Williams case, it really leaves us with this unsettling picture, doesn't it? The internet's power to just instantly transform private tragedy into widespread content.
Propelled by algorithms, amplified by human curiosity.
It's such a stark reminder of the power we all hold and witness online every day, and the new kinds of vulnerabilities it creates.
Yeah. And if we try to connect this to the bigger picture, it leaves us with a really provocative thought. It goes beyond just this one awful tragedy.
Okay.
The challenge isn't just stopping these horrific acts from happening, although obviously that's paramount. It's also about truly understanding the digital systems, the architectures that enable them.
And the complex psychology they foster.
Exactly. And the chilling reality is, somewhere out there, right now, another person might be thinking about hitting go live.
With the same horrifying intent.
And the same potential for an instant global stage.
That is, yeah, a deeply sobering thought to end on. But it really highlights the massive implications of our connected world. We hope this encourages you, the listener, to keep reflecting. Think about the responsibilities that come with being online, the algorithms shaping what you see, the psychological effects of it all.
And what being a good digital citizen really means now.
Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive.